Yes, what's going on, everybody? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little stream for your lunchtime live show. Yeah, nice one. What's going on? Hope you're all having a good day. Thank you very much for joining us for the show at lunchtime here. Do us a favour at the start of this show and smash that like button on it. Give us a massive thumbs up. You know it makes sense. Also, get yourself subscribed to the channel, of course, if you're new. And if you're on catch-up later, get down below in the comment section and have your say. But welcome into the live chat, legends. How you doing? How you doing? You can share us around if you fancy as well. There's a link pinned at the top of the live chat. Give us a repost on X there for the show. We'll shout you all out later on. Big up Aaron, Stephen, Welshman, ZX, Weed, Peter, Ash, Dino, McPherson. Thank you, McPherson. Yes, like and subscribe. Thank you, McPherson. And everybody else as well who's in here. Look, we're going to get into the latest news, aren't we? Let's discuss it. It's this. Obviously, in the last half an hour or so, Sky Sports and a few other outlets are reporting that Tottenham Hotspur have held talks, initial discussions with Brentford about a deal for Bryan Mbeumo. You what? And Mbeumo's understood to be more intrigued by a move to Tottenham now that Thomas Frank has become their head coach. What the fuck's this all about? No and Brano is what his name is. What the hell? I thought he left Thomas Frank over at Brentford to come and join a real club, Manchester United. He'd already agreed to come and get his personal terms all sorted out and everything. He was coming to Manchester United. So what now? Because his mate Thomas is going to Spurs. Spurs! More intriguing than Manchester United. Spurs! I've never heard such absolute raw tosh in all my life, to be fair. Spurs! More intriguing than Manchester United. How are Spurs more intriguing than Manchester United? Is it because he doesn't have to move that far up the road? What is it? Does he really love London that much, mate? What the fuck? In all fairness, Spurs, yes. Oh, they've got Champions League football. Or they're going to be competing in the Champions League for what? A couple of weeks? Essentially, really, because they're not going to get far in the competition, and then what? Are they finishing top 4 this season? No, mate, they're not, are they? Not realistically. So, I don't really get this. I mean, obviously, this is, in my opinion, this is probably just some sort of absolute PR nonsense guff. Sky Sports complete turd bomb right here. That's what I think this is. Because essentially, surely we're very close to getting this Bryan Mbeumo deal done. That was what the situation is. He's had his personal terms agreed at the football club. We've had an initial offer which was obviously rejected. There's the negotiations and discussions about getting a structure and a deal in place there. And if he ended up going to Tottenham, I mean, what an absolute shithouse. That's funny, isn't it? Pete says Spurs is a bigger, more attractive club. Oh, really? Pete, Spurs is a bigger, more attractive club than Man United, is it, yeah? In what sense, mate? The only thing you could say better that's maybe more up to date is the stadium, obviously. That's about it. And in fact, from a view above, in terms of an aerial view, it looks like a fucking toilet, mate. Because that's what it is. Spurs is a toilet, lad. What you want about more appealing? That's an absolute nonsense, lad. Manchester United win trophies. Spurs win one every 2 decades. Whilst United have been absolutely shit the last 3 seasons, we've got to a Europa League final. Admittedly, we did lose to those spuddy melts. We won an FA Cup and we won a League Cup. That's just in the last 3 seasons alone when we were shit. Now, just imagine how long he's going to have to wait for Spurs to win something. Another 17 years, probably. Like, okay, they're in the Champions League right now. They do have Thomas Frank there. And they're still a pretty mediocre club. They're still a small club. Mate, thank you so much, Daz Salford, for gifting out 5 members on the channel. I really appreciate you, legend. Get in there, you hero. Thank you so much. Get some big love in there for him. You're a legend, gifting out 5 members. Anyway, look, personally, I still think there's a very good chance that he's coming to sign for Manchester United, and this is just some sort of, paper talk, PR spin, guff. That's my personal opinion on the matter. I think this is probably some personal, some guff. No, I'm not talking nonsense, mate. No, I'm not talking nonsense. If you actually go and look at what I just spoke, it was nothing but pure facts, lad. I.e., 2 trophies in the last 3 seasons, got to a Europa League final. Spurs, 1 trophy in 17 years. Those are facts, mate. I'm not making this up. Those are facts. So, no, you're absolutely way off base there, my friend. Obviously, Manchester United is a bigger, better club than Spurs in every single measurable metric. Aren't they? Come on. What have Spurs got better than us? The only thing is they do have better players. At this moment in time, I guess they are, technically speaking, I would say, player for player, they have more better players than us right now, which is a shambles to say that Spurs actually have better players than us right now. Because, obviously, they do have, Son, Kulusevski. They've got a lot more bases covered. Porro's very good. They've got a lot of good talent in there. It's less of a rebuild job at Spurs than it is at Manchester United. In all fairness, I think that's fair to say. Like, Spurs does probably just need one or two additions really, and they could actually be quite back up there. They were 5th the season before, remember, with basically the same squad. Better stadium? Well, I mean, it's obviously a newer stadium. I wouldn't say necessarily better. Old Trafford's about as iconic as it gets, lad. Still a much bigger population. Dan says, you're talking shit, man. Forget the past. I think you're a good lad, Piggy, but you're wrong. I'm not talking about the past, mate. I'm not talking about going back 20 years to the Fergie era when we were actually good. No, I'm talking about right now. We are bigger, better than Spurs in every way. Even the last 3 seasons, mate. If you're talking about contemporary times, the last few seasons, that's what we're going on. That's not going into the past. We literally have got 2 trophies in that time. Spurs are bottle jobs, lad. Notorious bottle jobs. Everybody knows it, lad. They're even bigger bottle jobs than Arsenal. This is Spurs. So everybody knows that. I'm just saying, obviously Manchester United is not the most appealing place to go and play football right now. We did finish 15th. We do have a lack of sort of quality in the side. We do have an issue with ownership, and it's just a bit of a steaming mess at the moment at Manchester United. So it's fair to say that it's not the most appealing place to come and play. But Spurs? Really? Spurs ahead of Manchester United, even if they've got Champions League football? It won't last very long. I don't get it. Welshman forever. Well, that's what it boils down to, isn't it? It boils my piss, mate. We could have just taken a heck of a lot, could have been a lot quicker with this deal, couldn't we, I suppose? Get it done nice and early, get that fee agreed with Brentford. That's still what the hold-up is, really. Brentford may be taking a bit of time knowing that there's a potential bidding war, but also knowing that if they wait, they can make United sweat and maybe squeeze a few extra £1 million out of us. I think that's ultimately what's happened there. But still, United's slow. If we were prepared to go get this guy a week ago, we could have gone and got him. Let's face it, Thomas Frank, a.k.a. Thomas Wank, wasn't going to Tottenham a week ago, or, a couple of weeks ago, obviously, when Big Flange was still there. That wasn't happening. But obviously now that's the case, which has changed the sort of deck of cards of the situation in regards to United and Mbeumo and Brentford and Tottenham. And we could have actually had him before any of this was an issue if we'd have just acted a bit quicker. So we have had an absolute mare there, not being able to get an agreement in place there with Brentford. But as far as we're aware, he still wants to come and play for Manchester United. They might have held initial talks, but he has agreed personal terms with Manchester United. It does look like Thomas Frank is interested in bringing him in, which you can't deny is a spanner in the works. Let's say it as it is, because he does have that relationship with him, and now he's gone to a bigger club than Brentford. Maybe it's fair to say that Mbeumo did want to leave Brentford because they are just a small leisure centre of a football club. And if an offer comes from a bigger club, like a Manchester United, it's too hard to say no. Thomas Frank's gone to Spurs, a bigger, better football club than Brentford, to be fair in every way. And now that he's there, and there's that link there with Spurs, maybe Mbeumo just has had his head turned. Mate, thank you, Welshman. He says, I'm really pissed off with United. A snail is faster. Come on, United. Get your finger out of Glazer's arse and get these deals done. Well said, you legend. Thank you so much. Sully Griffin, you hero, as well, getting in here raw. He comments, this is definitely because Thomas Frank is now the Spurs manager. That's the only reason, is it? It's the only reason, lad. He obviously was leaving Brentford. He was going to leave Brentford and leave Thomas Frank. But now Thomas Frank is the Spurs manager. Spurs is a bigger club than Brentford. So it's not just like, he wasn't prepared to play for him at Brentford. No. Brentford's a much smaller club than Spurs. That's fair. We're a much bigger club than Spurs as well. But Thomas Frank is the X factor. We're expecting Gyokeres to come to United because of Amorim. Well, Thomas Frank is the extra added cherry on the cake there. It's somebody that he's already got that working relationship with. And because of that, Spurs will probably bankroll the deal as well. They're going to want to give their new manager some signings in this summer transfer window, and I'm sure they'd be keen on him. He's got 20 goals in the Premier League just season gone, 8 assists. And Thomas Frank was the guy that was coaching him. So from Tottenham's perspective, from a club perspective, it makes perfect sense to go and hijack him, to be fair. It really, really makes perfect sense because they're going to get somebody that already has that relationship with Thomas Frank and is effective in the Premier League. So if I was Tottenham, and I've said this a week ago as well, I would definitely try and steal him because that it's a no-brainer. You might as well absolutely try your best to bring him in because he's a great player and he's got that relationship with Frank. Oh, he says, if you ask me, I would prefer Frank to Amorim. He's done a tremendous job with Brentford. Big up to you, Pig. Hope you're doing well. He's done a good job with Brentford, that's fair. You know, what's he had, like 5-6 seasons in the... 5-6 seasons for him, a good bunch in the Prem. He's done very, very well. He's stabilised them as a football club, yet developed players on not the hugest of budgets. Fair play to that. He is a good manager. But you know what? Fuck that guy, mate. Thomas Wank, he ain't worth a wank as far as I'm concerned. He's just a mid-table dross manager. I'm predicting it right now. Even if he gets decided, he's finishing 10th this season with Spuds. Spuds are Spuds. He's finishing 10th this season, all right? Anyway, Solly, thank you so much for your super chat there, mate. I appreciate you. If you're just getting in the stream, guys, do us a favour and hit that thumbs up button if you haven't done so. Twat the likes on it. Give us a massive like spike. It's horrible news at the moment. I think we're still probably going to end up getting Mbeumo myself, but Tottenham are apparently in for him, which is obviously going to be... which is obviously an issue. Yeah, you did say that, Kate Cadet, didn't you? Yes, you did. So the actual source is you know, it's from Sky Sports. Lyle Thomas here says that exclusive Tottenham have held initial discussions with Brentford about a potential deal for Bryan Mbeumo. Frank to Spurs increases their chances, but they also remain interested in Antoine Semenyo. So, you know, obviously nothing nailed on there at all. There's just initial talks. Maybe Brentford are, you know, Bryan Mbeumo's not overly keen on the idea of playing for those shithouses Spuds. We're just assuming that because Thomas Frank has gone there, that he may be interested in going there, which definitely does increase the likeliness it happens. But it also doesn't guarantee a damn thing. Okay, hang on. Abdullah Irwin, what's this from Ben Jacobs? Mbeumo's preferred option still Manchester United. Spurs talks with Brentford not yet advanced. Brentford want in excess of £60 million. Spurs made aware of his presence, but before Thomas Frank joined. Get in there, my son. Exactly. You see, this is what I'm saying. Bryan Mbeumo is still expected to join Manchester United. It depends what Spurs are prepared to do as well. Like, remember, they don't pay players as much as Manchester United do, and all credit to them for doing that. They have a better, more sensible wage structure at the football club, don't they? For Man United's point of view, we just pay players crazy amounts. So if it just comes down to money, I'd expect Manchester United to certainly be able to win the finances battle in that regard and pay him more money. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I don't want us to really pay ridiculous wages for players. But ultimately, you know, Spurs don't like paying players as much as we do. So they probably won't be able to give him as good a contract as we will, unless they're really going to give Thomas Frank what he wants. And if Thomas Frank really wants him, which, let's face it, if you're Thomas Frank, you would want him. He's just been your player for several seasons. He's literally scored shitloads of goals for you in the Premier League for a lesser team than Spurs. You're going into a new side and you're, you know, obviously a good coach and they've got a really good set of players. It's very interesting. But I'm also going to say something else bold this summer, right? It's not been talked about yet. There's no mentions of it. I think they're going to lose Son this summer. That's right. I think they are going to lose Son. He said he's a Spurs legend now. He's won that first trophy for bloody millennium, it seems like. Harry Kane pissed off the last season there to finally win a trophy. Well, Son's finally won one now. He's the most loyal lad, to be fair. He stayed at Spurs even though they're absolutely awful for years. And he's one of the best players in the world. He could easily walk into any team. And Son Heung-min stayed there. Well, surely if Son Heung-min's got any bollocks about him now, he's gonna leave that shit show. He's already won a trophy. They're not going to win another one for 17 years. He should go and play for a club that's almost guaranteed to win trophies or up there challenging for things because he's good enough. But I actually think that's going to happen later on in the window, yeah. Son leaving Spurs. Now, there's not really much talk about that at the moment, but I've just got a feeling in my loins that that's going to happen. It's the right time for him to go. You know, Big Ange leaving, lovely comments he made to Big Ange, new guy coming in. Can he be doing with Thomas Wank and his floppy hairdo? Let's be honest, maybe not. Sly Sports talk shit. They do indeed, lad. You're absolutely right. Thank you so much, Abdullah. He says, channel, smash the likes, guys. Thank you so much, Abdullah, there. Appreciate you. Okay, so, look, obviously, the expectation in my mind is still that he comes to United. But it's obviously a seed of doubt has been planted now. There's no doubt about it with this sort of news that's coming out today anyway. And the fact Thomas Frank is the Tottenham manager and he did manage Bryan Mbeumo previously. So let's just ask the live chat very quickly. Have your say in the chat, guys. Where do you think Bryan Mbeumo's going to end up? Where do you think he's going to go? Is it Spurs? Is it Man United? Is it somewhere else? Let us know your thoughts. But for me, I still do feel like Manchester United is the one that's going to get him. But obviously, who knows? We've agreed terms, it seems. We're probably going to pay more than them. We are a bigger, better club. We are making strides in the transfer window. there is a potential to get back to the top within a couple of seasons. It's going to take a bit of time. It's going to take a bit of work. We're not there yet, but there is a potential for Manchester United to still be one of the biggest clubs in the world again. That's why I think it's much more appealing to play for Man United than it is Spurs, because Spurs, they've had their trophy now for 2 decades. So, yeah, we do, mate. It would be an absolute insult. In fact, it would add insult to injury after losing the Europa League final to them if those shithouses were able to wrestle Mbeumo away from us, mate. That'd be disgusting. Yeah, you got to cool off. Hey, I understand there, Steve. Well, let's not get too carried away. Nothing's decided yet. Spurs haven't reached an agreement. Spurs haven't even begun discussions with the player or anything yet. They've just had initial discussions with Brentford. So it may well be the case that Bryan Mbeumo just wants to join for United, and he doesn't even want to play for shitty Spurs. There is that possibility as well. Yeah, okay, Thomas Frank is his friend, and obviously his manager, and he's got that history with him, and he was doing very, very well for Thomas Frank for a lesser club. So who's to say what he could do at Spurs? He could do a lot for them. So from Spurs and Thomas Frank's perspective, they definitely want to get him in there. I'm sure of it. But what does the player want? The player might see the opportunity to play for Manchester United as too good to turn down. And also, I believe he was a United fan as a lad, wasn't he? So, not many lads growing up as Spuds fans. Let's be honest, around the world. I mean, quite a few, but not as many. Yeah, let's have a look at what you guys are saying, though, where you think he's going to end up. Ronster says United. Yes, Manchester United. Spurs, he's already a United player. Connor says United. Yep, United, absolutely. July, Spurs have money to spend now. I'd say that puts them ahead. Oh, yeah, because of all this PRS bollocks, PSR bollocks. What's going on at United? Why are they so slow with crucial decisions? Nothing new to us, is it? We are just a bit of a melt club, mate, when it comes to recruitment and transfer negotiations. We always have been. We're the club that takes ages to sign the players. We're the club that spends in excess of probably double what most players are actually worth sometimes. A la Anthony Dos Gastos and Gashmus Boyland coming in, obviously. Lots of players that we've signed for huge money, and we give them massive wages. We're just a bit of a mess of a club, mate, when it comes to actually recruiting players. That is true. Obviously, we need to just go full steam ahead now, don't we? We have to get this Mbeumo deal wrapped up very soon. United can't take a chance. It could be PR spin this, as I've said. Maybe Brentford putting a little bit of pressure on to try and get United to go up higher in terms of the transfer figure. Maybe they're prepared to wait to get the maximum amount of cash. It makes sense. And obviously, Spurs are not expected to pay that sort of money, and they're not expected to compete financially wage-wise with us. But they might. With Thomas Frank there, they might want to back him. So it is a concern, no doubt. Man United and Mbeumo for United because he's selected it. Don't worry. Well, he definitely get game time at Manchester United every single game. He'll be the main man. He's going United, the graveyard. How dare you? True, Les. There's always a couple of debacles. There's always one or two players that are missed out on, etc., and end up going elsewhere. By the way, guys, we've got 300 legends in here. Thank you so much for joining. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're new. We're on our way to 91,000 subscribers. Help us get there by hitting that red subscribe button down there below. We're on here every day covering all the Manchester United news as it breaks and with the latest updates. So get yourself subscribed if you're new. Also, share us around, smash that like button, and have your say in the chat, you legends. Okay, 50-50. He's going to Spuds, I'm afraid, says Barbara. And Mbeumo would go to Spurs, do a poll. Right, okay, let's do a poll. Let's do a little poll, actually. Good shout. That's a good shout. Let me do a little poll. Let me get this set up, actually. 2 seconds. So, let's have a look. Who will Mbeumo sign for? Boom. Man United, Tottenham, or other. I mean, but let's go with that. Man United, Tottenham, or other. My vote is still firmly with Manchester United there. I believe that he will still join United because he's agreed personal terms. There was also interest from other clubs that had Champions League football. There were reports teams like Newcastle were interested in him. And if Newcastle were interested in him, but he wants to join Manchester United, he's turned them down. What does that say? Also, even Arsene Hollands, I heard there was a link to earlier on. So it's like, well, if those clubs are in for him, why would Spurs really turn his head? I guess it's the Thomas Frank situation, isn't it? Fair play. That is a possibility. He knows him. That's the thing, he knows him. And that can be very comforting for a footballer, especially if they have a good working relationship. That's what we're expecting Viktor Gyokeres to do, essentially, is to come to Manchester United ahead of teams with Champions League football. So who's to say that he wouldn't go to Thomas Frank and play for him at Spurs because he's got that relationship with him. Andy says Pig and Mbeumo's overrated anyway. In what sense is he overrated, Andy, lad? What's he not good at, Andy? Or are you just talking shite as always, Andy, young lad? Because I don't know if he is overrated. If you look at his performances last season, 20 goals in 38 games. For a start, he played all of the games in the Premier League for Brentford. Every single one. Respect. That's a bit of, that's a bit of stability in your side that you need sometimes. He's also scored 20 goals, lad. 20 goals. 20. Double figures times 2. 20 goals, guys. 20 goals. And 8 assists. Also, he covered the third most ground, I believe, in the Premier League last season, probably because he had 38 appearances, but also he's a hard worker, right? He creates goals, he scores goals. What's the issue there? What's he bad at, mate? He's a good signing. End of the day, he's a Brentford player. Nobody's rating him up there and saying this is a future Ballon d'Or winner. No, this is a guy we're signing from Brentford. We know that we're getting a player who's stepping up to a bigger club. He's had a very good season, and there's a lot of promise there. But nobody's expecting him to be one of the best players in the world just yet. Obviously, he needs a bit of time. We are struggling at the moment as a team, and he is just coming into his prime years, 25, 26. These are his prime years now. So I think we'll see the best of him in the years to come, lad. No need to be negative, is there? He's not overrated. I'll tell you who is overrated. Most of our current players, mate. Or at least they were when we signed them, and now they're not. Now they're rated where they should be, which is in the toilet, to be fair. But you know what I'm saying. Let him go to Spurs. If he goes to Man United, was not the place for him. Fair enough. I love that, the solar soft. You know, that is a beautiful way of looking at things. Let the chips fall where they may. You know what I mean? Que sera, sera, lad. Whatever will be, will be. I like your style, lad. But you know what? No! We can still definitely go and get this guy early now, can't we? And get the deal done with Brentford. So, you know, I know what you're saying. I don't want to let him go to Spurs. We need to convince him to come to Manchester United. He is a very good player, very effective in the Premier League proven. Ticks about 9 of the 10 boxes that we need to tick for a player coming into United. So, I don't know. I think we've got to try and do everything we can to get him. Lewis has just seen now Mbeumo's preferred destination is Man United. Yeah, well, let's have a look at this. So, I'll have a look at the latest updates here. So, Fab and obviously Ben Jacobs probably on this, and obviously somebody said there was a Ben Jacobs tweet and put it in there. Let me pop that up on the screen for everyone, actually, this tweet from Ben Jacobs that came out just 15 minutes ago while we were covering this sort of breaking news here. So, this is it right here, and it says this. Although Tottenham have stepped up their interest in Bryan Mbeumo, as called by Sky Sports Lyle, conversations are not yet advanced. Brentford want in excess of 60 million, and Mbeumo's preferred option is still Manchester United. Spurs made aware of this, but before Thomas Frank joined. A lot will depend on whether United meet the valuation. Spurs prepared to better Man United's rejected 45 plus 10 million offer, if given encouragement. But they also have Antoine Semenyo and Tyler Dibling on their list. What's that? Spurs prepared to beat Manchester United's offer. You what? In what universe are Spurs prepared to beat any offer from anyone? I'm not so sure about that, but there you go. Spurs potentially expected to match at least Manchester United's offer to try and get in this guy to their club and be the first signing of the summer there potentially for Thomas Frank. It would be a massive coup for them. It would be a hijack deal. It would be a steal, wouldn't it? It's a deal. It's a steal. It's the sale of the freaking century if they could just pinch him last minute. Essentially have United do all the dirty work there with a couple of weeks of negotiations and obviously getting that initial offer rebuffed and then doing a bit of negotiations and then just steaming in at the end like the Cleveland steamer that they are, Spurs, and trying to steal him from us. I mean, it's classic shithousery. You've got to admire it. You've got to admire it. It's classic shithousery. But also the only reason it's even possible to happen is because, obviously, of Thomas Frank. If not for that, then it's probably not going to happen. Yes, Spurs can match the transfer value, but not the wages agreed. Well, if we believe what's been said, reports are he's on wages at Manchester United between £150,000 and £200,000 a week. There may be some sort of performance-based, bonuses and all that sort of stuff in there, but ultimately it's 150 to 200,000 pounds a week, somewhere in that region. That's what makes sense anyway. Would Spurs pay that for him? I mean, they might pay sort of closer to lower to that sort of figure, I would have thought. I mean, they've obviously got players on at Spurs who are on a couple of £100,000 a week, people like Son, but even he's not on crazy money considering the player he is for them. So Spurs are not the sort of team that are going to just break their wage structure for anyone. I don't really know the inner workings personally too much of Spurs' actual wage structure and what all of their players are on. Not the same way as United, obviously, but they are notoriously not big spenders, mate, when it comes to the wages and usually the transfer fees. So they're going to have to pay in excess of £60 million for this guy if they want to get him. That's not the most Spursier things to do. Yep, that's right. Wow. Yep, you think Cunha's a better player than Mbeumo, so Cunha was the priority for me. Hey, I really like Cunha as well. But both of them would have been great. We need both of them, lad. This is it. The rebuild must begin with a very, very strong set of number 10s there to help us score lots of goals, create goals as well for the number 9, who we need to get a new one for as well. Obviously, we've got so many positions in the team we still have to strengthen, but I mean, it wasn't the most important position to strengthen that area because we've got players like Bruno Fernandes. We do still have Bruno who can play that number 10 role for us, and obviously other options as well, Xerxes and whoever. We've got a few options, but it's still a concern, isn't it, when you've got this player that you can get to add to your team to make you a lot better as well, and he's there and his stats don't lie in the Premier League and he's Premier League experienced, Premier League proven. It just makes it a lot more appealing to go and get somebody like that, you know. I think it was the right... Mbeumo's definitely the right type of signing for Manchester United right now, rather than going for these melt jobs, such as, you know, Højlund and Anthony and Onana and any just players that are coming from different leagues, really, that don't have that Premier League proven experience. It's a gamble. With Mbeumo and Cunha, you know what you're going to get, I think, in the Prem, because they've done it. They've shown what they can do. They know the league. They know the speed of it, the physicality of it, etc. And they've done really well. So Mbeumo, if anything, though, his stats are more impressive than Cunha's, aren't they? Cunha doing it for Wolves, Mbeumo doing it for Brentford. I think Mbeumo's stats this season are 20 goals and 8 in 38. And I think Cunha's stats are 16 goals and 5 assists, maybe. And I'm not sure. I think he had a few less games than 38. But, you know, still both very, very impressive stats. They're very similar. But if anything, Mbeumo's stats are more impressive. So I'm not so sure. Spurs have Champions League and Man United have League Cup. Yeah, but ask yourself this, though, Dick. Ask yourself this, though, Dicky Polite, lad. Right? Ask yourself this. Who's more likely to win a trophy this season? Just answer honestly. Spurs or Manchester United? Who's more likely to win a trophy this season? Just be honest. Be honest with me. For a start, if you say Spurs, you're an absolute jelly brain. Because Spurs literally have won one trophy in 17 years. And that was the luckiest trophy they've ever won. Do you see Spurs as fucking route to the final? And then they got lucky by playing the shittest Manchester United side in history in the final. If they'd have come up against any decent side, they'd have got done up. Fuck me, they struggled against Bodo Glimt to some degree. You know? Spurs, yeah, all right then, bud. All right then, yeah. United, Spurs, what's the matter with you? You're an Arsenal fan and you're saying Spurs. Alexander says Spurs. Come on. Come on, you really think Spurs are more likely to win a trophy than Man United this season? Goodness me. The last 3 seasons we've won the League Cup and the FA Cup. Those are the ones we're in for. Those are the only trophies we're in for. We're going to have a bigger emphasis on trying to win those trophies as well, because we don't have any European football. We have less strain on the squad. We'll have more focus on the domestic cups. Our main targets will be the FA Cup and the League Cup this season, lad, and obviously doing well in the Prem. What are you guys talking about? Spurs will bottle things. They'll have to juggle things with the Champions League that they're in as well. They're not going to go far in that. They'll bottle that. They'll probably finish mid-table in the Premier League and they won't win a damn trophy. Because Spurs don't win trophies. They freakishly won one this season. They're so lucky that Man United are in the shittest position we've been in for decades. They're so lucky. Because otherwise they wouldn't have even done that if we'd have turned up to any degree. And by the way, they jammed that final. They fucking jammed that final with the shittest goal ever scored to win a fucking major European final, mate. With some sort of phantom goal. Some lucky goal off of Luke Shaw's fucking man boob. What are you talking about, guys? Spurs were bloody lucky for a start. The more I think about it. But anyway, fair enough. Other than that, they're not going to realistically win trophies, mate. It's not what they do. It's not their style. They've won their trophy now. So, That's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. Fair play to you. But I honestly do feel like we're way more likely to win the next trophy than they are. So if a player's coming in to win trophies, he's looking at United going, that's a more likely destination to win trophies because they actually do win trophies. Zayn Miyasi, what's going on, Zayn? He says, what happens if Mbeumo to Spurs? Gyokeres to Arsenal when Onana stays? Piggy, I think meltdown. They call you Mystic Zayn. You've predicted it correct. There would be a bloody meltdown if Onana stays and we lose Mbeumo to Spurs and Gyokeres goes to Arsenal. I mean, that would be DEFCON 3, mate. Definitely. That's awful, mate. I don't even want to think about that eventuality. But that's all possible. Like you said, that's all possible. Right now, United haven't signed a new keeper. We haven't found a new destination for Andre Onana to move him on. We haven't finished and finalised the Mbeumo deal. There is a chance he goes to Spurs now. Gyokeres obviously wanted by Arsenal. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a shit show, mate, if that happens. No doubt, it's a joke if that happens. So I don't even want to think about that. Sully, thank you for your super chat. He comments, shouldn't Man United also sign a centre-back because of the injury to Martinez? Losing him was a big blow. Well, he's going to be back soon. He's going to be back soon, I believe. But obviously there's lots of other injury-prone melts at the back there. And we've lost Lindelof and Johnny Evans. Those guys have gone. So, yes, I think we do need to sign our centre-back. I still think we've got quite a few good numbers there. De Ligt, Martinez, Yoro, Maguire, Aiden Heaven, but other than the likes of Maguire, they're all quite injury prone. So I think it's we've got to go and get him, mate. We've got to go and get a centre back. I agree with you there, Sully. 100%. This news has really pissed me off though, guys. I was just happy thinking Mbeumo's coming to United at any moment. And this news has kind of pissed me off. But I still expect him to come to Manchester United. But it is just annoying to think that Tottenham have made some sort of contact. These are the reports that are going around. So it's quite frustrating to think there's a chance now we can lose him. Anyway, look, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. But it would be very frustrating if we did lose him. Good morning there, Peter Abate. What's going on? Spuds have their own supporters, fan channel, fuck's sake, trying to get on our breast ends. Oh, exactly. Is there some spuddy melts in here, is it? Given that the old big I am flapping their rotten gums because they won the luckiest Europa League final in history. Other than that, let's face it, if they didn't fluke that final, if they didn't get that trophy, there's no way that anybody goes and plays for them ahead of Manchester United. It's only because we don't have Champions League football right now, and they do. They finished 17th and they lost 22 games in the Prem. I mean, that is shit by anyone's standards. As long as you have Slabby, you will stay up. Oh, he's an absolute rock, isn't he? Right, okay, I'm going to get into the live chat for a little bit now. There is probably some more bits and bobs that's going to be coming out during this show. I'll keep an eye on it, see if there's any more updates from anyone there in regards to, Mbeumo or anything that comes out. We'll cover it. If you're just getting in the stream, please hit that thumbs up button, give us a like, and of course, get yourself subscribed. Subscribe to the channel. It's free to subscribe. Click the button down there that says subscribe. Also, click the bell icon for notifications so you don't miss the streams. Oh, I know, Gazwods. It's so annoying, isn't it, mate? Spurs can drive up the price. They have an extra 100 million to throw around. That's fair, mate. That's so true. They did get that money, and we've already committed to the Mateus Cunha deal, and we haven't sold any players yet. So it's a fair point. Financially speaking, Spurs got to be in a better position than us this summer. United getting relegated one game a week with Cunha is going to be generational. Come on now. Nobody expects us to be as bad as we were last season. Thank you, David Jewsnip, there, for giving us a subscribe, you legend. I appreciate that. Billy says, remember when Sky said we were signing Frankie de Jong? Pretty sure their source is Kermit the Frog. Well, there you go. Sky is not the most reputable of sources or the quickest of sources, but generally. So that's a fair point, Billy, And all they've said really at the moment is that there's been contact made with Brentford by Tottenham. That's all. They have not said that there's any advancements, there's any offers, there's any desire on Mbeumo's part to actually go and play for Spurs. It's just all speculation at the moment, isn't it, that they're putting out there, because obviously Thomas Franks just signed and he was his previous coach. Hey, you have a great day, Kate Cadet. Thank you so much for getting in here, you legend. I appreciate you. What you on about? I mean, that's crazy, isn't it? It's only United, lads. I mean, you're saying that fully ironically, Spurs scummers. That's the funny thing about it. Is that even you guys are lucky. Enjoy it. But even you were lucky in that final. And also, even you don't win trophies. Alexander says, I'm Spurs, but you answer this. Who finishes higher this season, us or you? Us or you? Honestly, it's a no-brainer for me, mate. Us. 100% we will finish higher than you, boss. Even if we don't get Mbeumo, even if you do get Mbeumo. Yes, we will finish higher than you. Thomas Frank's a good coach. I think he'll do quite well with Spurs. I'm predicting you finish 10th and we finish 7th. That's my prediction right now. Listen, you guys finished well down below us last season. Yeah, there were some injury problems. Yeah, big flange had a mare. Oh, he did win the fucking cup for you, though. But 17th, 22 losses. You can't tell me you're going to go from that to finishing in the top 5. It's impossible, I think. So I think you're going to be struggling, buckling mid-table 10th. And I do think Man United will finish higher than Spurs. We need Gyokeres, or at least a big baller striker up there to score goals. We also need to replace that flubber hand in goal. Andre Onana, whose hand is made of jelly. He is not a great, solid goalkeeper for us. We need to get rid of him. Get a new quality goalkeeper in there who's solid. Once we've addressed those issues, we should be a much better team almost overnight. Right? Get rid of a few melts, get a few more in. Happy days. But let's ask the live chat here, guys. Who do you think's going to finish higher this season? It's a good question. Who do you think finishes higher, Spurs or Man United? Genuinely, I do feel like Man United will finish ahead of Spurs. And for anybody saying, oh, what are you on about? We fucking finished higher than them this season! Yeah? Even though we finished 15th and it was gas for us, we still finished 2 places ahead of those spud melts. So what are you talking about? Spin, thank you so much there, lad. He says, do you think Thomas Frank would still join Spurs if there wasn't Champions League football? I do, yeah. I do. Spurs is a much bigger football club than Brentford. Let's face it, Brentford cannot only ever dream of getting in the Champions League. Spurs, it's a goal every season. They might not reach that goal, but it's a goal every season. Spurs, whether we like to admit it or not, they're like the 7th biggest club, 6th, 7th, 8th, somewhere in there. Biggest club in England. They are a big club and they are up there challenging for the top 5 places every single season. Not last season, neither were we. But the season before they finished 5th, and they have obviously been in the Champions League. Within the last 10 years, they've been in a Champions League final. So they are a decent standard side. I mean, way bigger club than Brentford. So I do think he would have gone to them even if they didn't have the Champions League and they finished 17th, because the ceiling to take them on to good things and maybe win big things is higher. It's much higher than at Brentford. Brentford's just got too many shackles on it. It's a small club. It has a smaller supporter base. It has a small stadium. The facilities, everything, the draw, the ability to bring in top players, all of that is obviously not as good as it is at Spurs. Thank you, Abdul Hanif. He says, confession ping, I'm a City fan, but your content is entertaining. Legendary head losses. Thank you so much there, Abdul Hanif. Lad, can't wait to see your head loss, mate, when finally you get punished. Which I don't think that's happening, is it, anytime soon? But thank you for that, mate. That's very nice. Totally get a new keeper. Yep, Spurs, definitely. Nah. United finishing higher as Tottenham. What? United, no-brainer. Man United, yep. Champions of Europe, you'll never say that. Precisely. They'll literally never say that, mate, will they? Both will be mid-table melts, if we're going to be honest. Well, I think we'll be slightly less melty than them. But okay, I feel your assessment there is probably accurate. United did lose 4 times to Spurs last year. We did, and we still finish higher than them, mate. And Ineos are getting sued, so double whammy. Yeah, we're a better club, better project, end of, says Lee Savage. Oh shit, he's got James Maddison as his profile picture. What an absolute virgin. What are you talking about, Lee? You're not though, are you? How are you a better project? How are you a better club? I mean, that's just the most nonsense thing I've ever heard in my life. You've never won the Champions League. You've never won the Premier League. You've never won the Premier League! Come on, lad. We've won it 13 times in the Premier League era, sir. Yeah? And you're a better club, are you, mate? That's one of the most hilarious things I've heard all day. That's good, lad. I like that. It's all falling apart, says Daz Sweets. Do you know what, Daz? Let me just say this real quick. Do you know what, guys? Just calm yourselves down a little bit. Yes, there's reports and news that this guy's going to Spuds. So what? It doesn't mean it's going to happen. Let's wait. Let's just chill on it. He's agreed terms with Man United. We're probably going to end up paying him more money. We do have a great project. We are a bigger, better club in every single way. We just don't have Champions League football. That's the only thing they have. And they've got Thomas Frank, who knows him and worked with him, obviously. That is a bit of an X factor, right? But other than that, all of the chips are stacked in our favour, guys. We are going to get him. We will sign him, I believe. I still think it's very likely that he ends up being a Manchester United player within the next week. But I think Brentford may be just in no rush here. They're in no rush. They want to see how this plays out. Maybe there will be talks and an agreement in place there with Spurs as well as Manchester United. Surely from Brentford's point of view, they don't care. They just want to try and get as much money as possible. So for them, it's great if Spurs come knocking for him as well, because it might push the price up a little bit. And they just don't, they won't mind. Get them talking. Oh, exactly, mate. Come on. I don't mind people coming in here bantering us. Sometimes we get Liverpool fans in here bantering us. Even City scummers. Even City scummers come in here, even though they're just an absolute new money bullshit club who were literally getting done up 8-0 to fucking Middlesbrough 15 years ago. Other than that, but, one thing I will not tolerate on this channel, one thing I will not put up with is Spurs fans coming in here trying to banter us. That is something that I will not put up with, even if they've beaten us in the final of the Europa League. It's like Spurs can't banter anybody. They're not in a position to banter anyone. Have you ever heard the phrase, don't throw stones? No, sorry. People in glass houses. People in glass houses shouldn't throw stones? Yeah. Well, people in glass bottle factories shouldn't throw stones either, mate. Because there'll be loads of smashed bottles all over the place, absolute bottle jobs. Spurs is the biggest bottle job club in the country. So they have to be told, mate.
Get in there, Mike.
Exactly. 0793, thank you so much for your comment here. He says that as a neutral, you think Man United are a far better option for a player than Spurs. History and stature is not comparable. Precisely, mate, precisely. That's it. I mean, who are their legends, mate? Who are their legends? Roman Pavlyuchenko? You know what I mean? Obviously, they've had some great players over the past. Obviously, the Sons, the Bales, the Kanes. They've had some great players. But Man United's history, I mean, we're steeped in rich history and winning trophies. That's what we do. We've also got one of the biggest supporter bases in all of the world. So it's not even close, really. Man United is a bigger, better club. And talking about as a project, Manchester United is a better project. There's way more ceiling at Manchester United. We are capable of winning Champions Leagues. We have 3 in our history. We are capable of winning Premier Leagues. We have 13 in the Premier League era and 20 top flight titles in our history. We are capable of doing that. These other teams, and a lot of these other teams, they're not. Even though they might be up there at the moment, and they're up there and they're challenging, or they qualified for Europe, or whatever the case may be, they're still not the sort of club that Manchester United is. We're a Goliath of a football club. Yep, they better settle their team leadership issue first. There you go. Yep, 4-0, Piggy, got to own it. The past is history. No, I own the fact that they beat us 4 times last season. Those are the facts. Those are facts, mate. Do you want to hear some other facts? I'll tell you some other facts. These are other facts. Man United, 13 Premier League titles. Spurs, 0. Man United, 3 Champions League victories. Spurs, 0. Yeah? Manchester United... Just way bigger, mate. We're just way better, mate. I don't have any more facts for you right there. Okay? I don't have any more facts for you. But I'm just saying Spurs are not as big as Manchester United, okay? You don't win trophies, lad. 17 years, that's another fact. 17 years since the last trophy. Under Juan de Ramos in 2008, Mickey Mouse League Cup, lad. There's another fact. 17 years. How long has it been since United won a trophy? Just a year, lad. Just a year. Okay? Just a year, mate. Remember that. So, obviously, the facts didn't flow as freely as I was hoping there, I'll be honest. Anyway, okay, right, guys, that's... Anyway, let's get stuck into the live chat again here, guys. So I'm just going to check the news, see if there's anything else coming here while we've been chatting. Once again, do us a favour and repost us on X. Give us a share around. That'll help the show out, help the channel out. The link's pinned at the top of the live chat there. Give us a cheeky little repost if you could. That'd be amazing. Share it around. We'll shout you out in a minute. Also, smash that like button. Smash the subscribe button. Help us get to 200 likes. And also help us get to 91,000 subscribers. If you're new to the channel, we're on here every day and night around about lunchtime, 1:30, 1-ish, 12:30. We do a daytime show covering the latest headlines and day's news in regards to Manchester United transfer news. And then in the evening, we also do a news show rundown of everything that's happened in the evening around about 10 p.m.-ish UK time. So keep a lookout then as well. But also, if there's anything big and breaking, we'll jump on in between and react to it live, etc. So get yourself subscribed, click the bell icon for notifications, and we're going to get stuck raw into a Q&A now. So have your say. Get yourself in there with your thoughts and opinions about this Mbeumo situation, where you think he's going to end up, etc. We'll have a look at the poll in a minute as well. But before I do that, I'm just going to shout out everyone that's reposted us on X. Thank you to all the legends that have reposted us on X there. Give us a follow. Okay, so we've had 6 reposts. Thank you so much to the reposters here. Gary Wadsley, Javier, Kieran, Francois Coq, the Mario, and Aaron Homeyard. Thank you so much, you legends there, for giving us a repost. Really appreciate that. Danke schön, mein Frunders. Right, we're going to get into the live chat now, but before I do, I'm going to end the poll. Right, we're going to end the poll and we're going to have a look at the results. So we've had 3. Actually, I'll just let you guys have a vote on the poll very quick. Have a vote if you haven't voted. There's a poll there in the chat. The question is, who will Mbeumo sign for? Man United, Tottenham or other? Have your say in the poll very quickly, then I'm going to end it and then we'll look at the final results. It's pretty close, to be honest. It's pretty close. And I feel like the people who are voting for Tottenham are just like wanky rival fans who are coming in here trying to troll. That's honestly what I feel. So I feel like realistically, even now, still at this moment in time, it's still 80% likely that Mbeumo joins Manchester United. That's how I feel right now. There is a seed of doubt now with Thomas Frank going to Spurs. Of course there is. And now news that this contact's been made. Of course there's a seed of doubt. Right, I'm going to end the poll there, guys. Let's have a look at it. So the results of the poll are as follows. Manchester United with 50% of the vote. You voted Spurs because we're penny pinching, right? Yeah, fair play, yeah. And Mbeumo sounds like a Kinder confectionery. It does a bit, doesn't it? And bueno. United, I like it, Kieran. I think it looks nice, mate. Yeah, I do think it looks nice. Hang on a second. Where is it? Where are these stats? Oh, there it is. Manchester United, 50%. That's where people think he's going to end up. 50% of the live chat. We've had 400 votes. 50% of the live chat feel like he's going to go to Manchester United. 45% say Spurs and 4% say other. I mean, that only adds up to 99%. But obviously there's some point zeros going on there and elsewhere. Either way, United win the poll, guys, and that's how I feel as well. I feel like it would be a no-brainer for Mbeumo to come to us. We're going to start calling him No-Braino if he does go to Spurs, because what's he thinking there, just to go and follow Frank? Yeah, I don't know. Peter says you think it makes sense he follows Frank. It makes sense for Frank to try and get him. It makes sense for Spurs to try and get him. Look at his stats. Look at his performances. Look what he's done for Frank for Brentford. It makes sense for all parties. But does it make sense for Mbeumo? Because Mbeumo could have the opportunity to play for a bigger, better club in Man United. I know Spurs have Champions League right now, but they're not a bigger, better club than Man United. I don't care what anyone says. Even the last 3 seasons, we still win trophies. So, Mbeumo to stay with Frank? Well, he was going to leave Frank at Brentford. So what's that all about, Super Fat Frank Lad? He was going to leave Thomas at Brentford. Yes, Spurs is bigger than Brentford. Yes, they do have Champions League. It is a bigger, better opportunity for him. But still not as big a, better opportunity as United, in my opinion. Bottom Bliss says, you underestimate your popularity among all EPL fans. Well, I mean, fucking boo-hoo, lad. Mr. Miyagi says, whoever gets Mbeumo, then the other team gets Semenyo. So win-win? Yeah, that could also be a good shout there, Mr. Miyagi. I mean, I just hope that it's us that end up getting Mbeumo and them Semenyo. I really rate Semenyo, by the way. I would definitely have him. I think he's a great player. Really good. However, we've already got the deal 90% done with Mbeumo, so let's fucking get it done. And Mbeumo would have seen how Man United discards players, even legends like CR7. Fair one, we are a terribly run football club. I mean, it doesn't even compare, really, in terms of actually sort of the running of the football club. Say what you want about Tottenham. But, Levy is a good businessman in that sense. Levy does well for Spurs in regards to getting good money for players when they sell. They're a better run football club than Manchester United. I think that's fair to say, but that's not hard. Manchester United is a charter of a football club when it comes to the running of it. Terrible. Probably best United just stick with Kuna as Bruno staying and focus on getting a number 8. Face it, chap, Bruno changed the window and this is just a taste of what could have been. Yeah, that's a very good point, very astute point there, maybe. I mean, it does give us the possibility to go and get a number 8 instead. But what about if Bruno plays the number 8? That's also the possibility there and we still go and get another 10. But I feel what you're saying there. It does give us a bit more flexibility with who we could go and get to replace Mbeumo if we did lose out on signing him, because Bruno's still there. Friggy, what's going on, you legend? Yep, Semenyo would be preferable signing. Yes, Semenyo's a great player, but we've already done the Brentford business. That's what I mean. We've already done the personal terms with Mbeumo. That's who Amarin wants. And stats-wise, it's obviously favourable for Mbeumo. Mbeumo's stats in the Premier League are better than Semenyo's. And Mbeumo has articulated he prefers Manchester United. Absolutely, mate. Brentford isn't in London. No, I know, but it's near, isn't it? It's near there, mate, isn't it? Right. Hang on. Let's have a look. Brentford, mate. Pretty sure it's near there, isn't it? Don't know, mate. I don't know now. Maybe I'm thinking of Brentwood. I don't know, mate. Where the fuck's Brentford? It is near London, mate. It's right there, lad. It's just not. It is there, mate. It's there, mate. It's in the old M25 or whatever. Is it? Yeah, it is. It's inside the M25, mate. That's London as fuck, mate. That's London as fuck. Anyway, yes, it is. Semenyo shoots more than Garnacho. He's a greedy pig. Semenyo shoots more than Garnacho. He's a greedy pig. Yeah, we're a great player. I do rate him. I think he's had a great season at Bournemouth, but out of the two of them, it's still Mbeumo for me. Guys, who would you rather, Mbeumo or Semenyo? But for me, definitely Mbeumo still. Thought we had Mbeumo in the bag. We're too slow in deals. We are there, Shirley. It's very gash, isn't it? I know we are. That's the definition, really slow. It's always been the case the last few years. We take a long time trying to get any deal done. Apart from Cunha was done pretty quickly. But I think it was wishful thinking we'd change completely because, yeah, the slowness definitely come back into this deal here. Brentford, definitely West London. There you go, you see. You could see this coming, to be honest. Not surprised whatsoever. What's your honest option? Does he sign for us or Spurs? I still think us. Guys. You know, bigger, better football club, more ceiling, higher ceiling, bigger potential in the future, great opportunity. Apparently he was a United fan as a lad, etc. Yes, Thomas Frank's gone to Spurs. They have Champions League football. Those are two big plus points for them. But I don't think the Champions League football is going to last particularly long. Brentwood, Essex. Mbeumo was never leaving Brentford because of Frank. He's leaving because it's Brentford. Definitely. That's absolutely true. And also, do you know what? Manchester United is a bigger, better club than Spurs. So surely he'll come to us because we are bigger than Spurs and not just go to Spurs because of Thomas Frank. Mbeumo. Yeah. Spurs have better stadium and better training facilities than you. Yeah, well, that's not that hard, Bob. But also in some ways they do, in other ways they don't. In facilities, absolutely, and in terms of the modernness of the stadium, absolutely. But obviously Old Trafford is super iconic, still has a much bigger capacity as well, you know. Brentford is where Corrupt FM are from. Perkin Warbeck, big man saying that on a chat email. What's he said? He's a thick dustbin lin lad. That's not very nice, is it there, Perkin Warbeck lad? You can have Anthony Gordon for 80 million, Piggy. Problem solved. Now, you're all right. It's a bit pricey, though. It's a bit pricey. Brentford is in London. Yeah, there you go, you see. But, yeah, that's it. Well, that as we've discussed, you know, that is also something that could be a factor, is staying in London, you know, because obviously Spurs is in London. He's a Brentford player right now. I'm assuming he lives in and around close to Brentford. Close to London, you know, he's in and around London somewhere near there. So he might not even have to bloody move if he goes to Spurs. That's another thing as well. That's another factor, isn't it? Like maybe he likes London. London does seem to be an attractive pull for some people. Not for me. I don't like big built-up cities, but for some people, people love a bit of London, don't they? Manchester's also similar vibes, but London's more, I suppose, more, cosmopolitan, glamorous maybe. Manchester, obviously, you know, it's still a big city with cosmopolitan vibes and everything, but it's just, you know, it's not London, is it, in that sense? Didn't know Sky Sports News, a good source now. Lol, says Sam. Well, I mean, it does look like it's happening. You know, lots of different reports are coming out from others as well to say that there's been some contact made. So I think he's still coming to United, but I think there's some contact made, obviously. I think that's fair to say. I mean, if I was Thomas Frank and Spurs, I would absolutely try and pinch Mbeumo, wouldn't you? Makes perfect sense. Try and steal the guy that you've worked with well over the last year and got loads of goals out of, and now you go into a bigger club with Champions League. What better way to start your spell at the club by bringing in one of your favourite players from your previous team, who's proven in the Premier League to do the business? From Thomas Frank and Spurs' perspective, it makes perfect sense to go and get this guy. We're 2 likes off of 200 likes, guys. Thank you, everybody who's hit the like button there. Smash that like button. Give us a massive thumbs up. Also, subscribe if you're new. We're going to read a bunch more comments out, then we'll wrap it up, I guess. But we will be back on tonight around about 10 p.m. as well with the latest goings-on. See what sort of materialises between now and then. Yep. Sky is really shit now, isn't it? It is gash, isn't it? Very slow and guff these days, mate. Absolutely. I think it always was, to be fair. We just, the pre-internet days weren't 100% sure. You didn't want to miss the stream despite having a touch of heat stroke. Oh, shit, Simon. Get better soon, mate. Thank you so much for getting in here. Get some aloe vera on you, my son. And Mbeumo's, Spurs has a better culture. Man United's a toxic cesspool at the moment. Makes sense for Mbeumo to avoid being the next scapegoat. I mean, that's fair. That's a fair point. I mean, United is a toxic environment. You're not actually wrong. It's very, very poorly run from the top down. So it causes a lot of problems, mate. We have some sort of toxicity going on as well, with players at the football club being egos and prats. So it might not appeal to everyone. What will this Spurs fans going on about last season that got and forgotten about Spurs lost to Ipswich Town? That was funny. Yeah, and 22 other teams in the league, mate. 22 other games, I should say, not 22 other teams. Because there's only 20 teams in the league. But 22 other games in the league as well. Getting Mbeumo done, Gyokeres replacement for Onana and get another mid wouldn't be a bad summer. Now, that is a good summer, Rick. Gyokeres would be a fantastic signing to score lots of goals. We've already got Cunha. If we can get Mbeumo and a goalkeeper, even just those 4 signings, great summer, I reckon. Great summer. I'll be buzzing my tits off with that one. Spurs has culture. Oh, yeah, I know. Dorset is the cosmopolitan of Bournemouth pig. Yeah, I guess. Mbeumo coming to Manchester United. United are bang average at best. Be on the bottom half again this season. I disagree with you. I think we're finishing top half, lad. I think Spurs will finish top half again as well. Even though they finished 17th last season, lad. I still think they'll finish top half because we are bigger clubs with better squads than the average. Even though we didn't get a lot out of ourselves last season and we were awful, we still have some very good players in there. If you can add 3 or 4 really top players like we're discussing, there's no reason we can't really get back up there, you know. Bournemouth are really, really good, mate. I honestly think they're a great side, mate. They're very good. I'd be interested in multiples of their players. They've just got a really great way of recruiting players, developing them. You know, look at, obviously, Huijsen's just gone over to Spain for a massive move. He's going to be in the next Ramos or something. Then you've got the likes of Semenyo, who's obviously wanted by almost everyone. Cliver, you know, they're a very, very good team. And their coach is very good, gets a lot out of them. They're good. Only way Mbeumo will go, Spurs to just take pens. You live in Crystal Palace, support them as well, and they won a cup as well. Go on, Susan. And Mbeumo chose United when Wilcox Club sold the project without Bruno. That's changed now. Spurs can offer first team when at United. Amorim will shoehorn Bruno in when he realises he's shit in number 8. Interesting, MB Creator. Interesting. But we also do need to have players to be able to play, you know, in different games, different competitions. But I feel you, Mbeumo's not coming to play second fiddle to anyone. He played 38 games for Brentford, so it's a factor. But I think Bruno's going to be playing that CM role, lad. But you do make a good point. You do make a good point. Bruno's best position for me is number 10. It's not the CM role. So you do make a good point, MB Creator, lad. Fair one. So was Spurs Origins. Emi Martinez or Donnarumma, both quality, but Donnarumma is in the next level. He's elite. I would have Donnarumma in a heartbeat. That would solve all of our problems, mate, this summer for goalkeeper issues. But obviously he's not coming to us, is he? Blatantly not. Why would he? That's mental. That's absolutely mental. But yeah, Martinez is realistic, though. Thank you, Hypergranaria. Sorry, I messed that up there. Hypergraphia, thank you so much for liking the video, lad. Thank you so much, Kim RSC. Thank you for smashing the like as well. And see you on the next one. And Mbeumo's head will be turned when he sees the golden triangle in Cheshire. Gyokeres is linked with Man United because Amorim, so it makes sense that Mbeumo's linked to Spurs because of Thomas Frank. It does, Bob. You're right. And that could be enough to sway him. I'm not actually in the dark. It's just basically what's happened is I've got this, like, there's a big window here, mate. And I've got, like, this blue screen here, there, basically, which just sort of, like, is there to diffuse the light a little bit. I need to get, like, a proper, just a blackout curtain for it or something. Because it is shit, mate. Because what happens is it messes up the contrast because all the bright lights come in. It's sunny. When it's sunny, the bright light comes in and then it just makes me look dark even though there's loads of lights on me here. So I need to get like a proper blackout curtain there for it, mate, and it should be all right. I'll get that sorted soon, lad. I'll get that sorted soon. Let's go Tonk Nash. Yeah, fair enough. Well, I don't think it's got to that situation yet. Gamer, yes, I saw that earlier as well from that source. Interesting. Just on Gyokeres, I mean, there's obviously that opinion that there's a report here from Viktor Gyokeres' agent Hassan Ketikaya. Hasn't been fact-checked. I don't know if this is legit. But it says we have evidence in writing with Sporting CP promising him to let him go for 60 plus 10. That's what everyone's saying, 60 plus 10, 60 plus 10. So maybe there's a basis to that. Yep, Gyokeres is a prima donna. Not so sure, mate. Not so sure. Thank you, Kieran. Appreciate you, legend. Yes, hope to be on later. Thank you, Simon. I appreciate that. I'll be on tonight around about 10 p.m. So definitely come and join us for that. Get your thoughts in now. I'm going to stay on for a couple more minutes. Have your say. Upton Park used to be the bee's knees. I like those. I liked Upton Park, mate. What a great stadium. Obviously, the new stadium they've got is just much more state-of-the-art, built for the 2010 Olympics, wasn't it? 2012 Olympics. Yeah, 2012 Olympics. It was built for that. But ultimately, it's got like, it's too far away from the pitch and stuff. The atmosphere is nowhere near as good as it was at Upton Park, lad. Upton Park had a great atmosphere. So true. I don't know, Hypergraphia. I might do a bunch, lad. I might do a bunch of them. I'll just sort of pick and choose games, really. You couldn't take the humiliation of getting Spurs jacked in the transfer window. I don't think that's going to happen, Bizarre Pudding Lad. Yep, like a library. Go and stream. Go, Piggy, go and stream in the sunshine. Thank you, Nicky. I need to. Yeah, it's a lovely... If I could take this out of there, I would. But you can see Amarin bringing over Maxi Araujo from Sporting, left mid or wing. Fast, young and skillful. I like your style, lad. I like your style. I think we certainly need to have a look at getting in, you know, a striker, a goalkeeper. The cam's obviously coming in, isn't it? The number 10. But beyond that, probably, yeah, a centre-back and a wing-back. Yeah, Maxi Araujo is a fighter, says Santos. Bizarre Pudding. Well, Spurs beat you 4 times already in 5 stretch. Yeah, all right, calm down. Spurs are our whipping boys over history. Just remember that. Yeah, do one, Lynch. When have Spurs in the history ever beat us to a signing? Great question. Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, I don't think it really happens. I mean, we usually pinch players from them, don't we? We usually sign Berbatov or Carrick or whoever. But those days are gone, sadly. Nice one, Elliot. But we're still a bigger, better club than those melts. Yes. No, I disagree with you. Origins, lad. Why is he better off at Spurs? They're not going to win anything for another 20 years, lad. London Stadium's gash, and that's coming from a West Ham fan. It is. It's nowhere near as good as the Upton Park, mate. Even though Upton Park had a much smaller sort of capacity, wasn't as up to date. It was old school, but it had that classic old school English vibe, didn't it? Anyway, listen, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to wrap this stream up. You're a bunch of legends. Thank you, all of you, for watching. Hit the like button before you go. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon for notifications so you can keep up to date with what's going on. Shocking news today in regards to Spurs having that interest in Bryan Mbeumo. Now Thomas Frank's there. There has been contact made, as per reports from Thomas Lyle, Ben Jacobs, Sky Sports, reporting that that is the case anyway. Tottenham have held initial discussions with Brentford about a deal for Bryan Mbeumo. Doesn't really change anything as of right now. There is no concrete talks. There is no bid. There is no agreements in place with the player. It's just sort of speculation, I suppose, because obviously Thomas Frank's just gone to Spurs and they're putting the feelers out there. I bet you Thomas Frank does want to sign Mbeumo at Spurs, and I bet Spurs see the value in getting him as well because his Premier League stats don't lie. So it is a concern, and the seed of doubt have been planted, but I certainly think it's still a good chance Man United sign him. Thank you, Ronster, Solitude, Bottom Bliss, Stephen, Tonk Nash, Grievous, Origins, everybody in the live chat. Thank you so much for joining and having your say. You can come back after this video is finished and get your thoughts and opinions in the not live comment section, even if you're a Spurs fan. We want to hear from you. Where do you think it's going to end up, etc.? Thank you so much for watching. Thank you very much. Still liked and subbed for ages. Well, that's very nice of you, Spuddy mate. Appreciate you. Thank you very much, MVE, Gaz, Solitude, all the moderators, all the members. Big up the legends in the live chat. Thank you to the mods like Daz Salford, etc., who've been in the stream throughout. Big ups Daz Salford and co. And all the members in the chat in green. Thank you so much for watching. That's it from me. Follow us on Insta, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick at Flying Pig United. Links pinned at the top of the live chat there for the X if you want to follow us on there, and all in the description. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Connor, and everybody else. That's it from me. Have a great day. I'll be back on tonight at least at 10 p.m. If not, then if you hear from me beforehand, then something breaking's happened. So give us a subscribe and click the bell icon. Nice one. All right, guys, have a good day. Catch you in a bit. And remember, Piggy loves you. And also remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, as this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much. Get in there, you beauties. Thank you so much to all the patrons here for supporting the channel on patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. As a thank you, all you legends will be appearing on this outro list. Get in there. Once again, thank you to all the YouTube members, but one of the best ways you can support the channel is on patreon.com, so check it out. Patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. And once again, a big thank you to all the legends that do support the channel on Patreon. Get in there.